Devin Haney versus everybody. Devin the Dream Haney versus everybody. It's your boy, Mr. 926, a.k.a. Bushido the Dragon, a.k.a. the Black Mage, a.k.a. I can just do this all day, the two-time demonetized champion of the world.
I need y'all to get the likes up, man. Get the likes up. Smash the like button. We have 350 people and 95 likes.
Check it out, man. Bill Haney came out with a list of fighters that's on their hit list. Very, very interesting list that Bill Haney has put out. Bill Haney is probably tired of all the criticism and the heat that he and his son has been receiving. But Bill Haney drops the list, right? And the number one guy on top of the list, Tif Lopez. Tif Lopez is the guy more recently we heard Devin Haney express interest. He's tagged Turkey. Of course, Tif and Javante is possibly having a fight. But Devin Haney threw his name in the hat and said he'll be willing to face Tif Lopez next for his racist rant, right? He called him T.O. Ho, and, his racist rant. Devin Haney want to get him, right? Shakur Stevenson, number 2. His former friend and rival. In the past, in my opinion, it didn't seem like the Haneys really didn't want to deal with Shakur Stevenson too much, right? It just didn't seem like they wanted to deal with Shakur Stevenson. The energy with Shakur Stevenson was very different at that particular time. At that particular time, Devin Haney was a champion. He was the man, the man with the master plan, right? But whenever Shakur was brought up or whenever Shakur was around, when Shakur got in that ring that one time, it didn't seem like he wanted any parts of Shakur Stevenson. Of course, there's a narrative that Shakur didn't take the 25% and all this other stuff. I think that was just some stuff to kind of control a narrative, right? And it kind of worked out for the Haneys. But it just didn't seem like he wanted to deal with Shakur Stevenson, right? Number 3, Javante Tank Davis, another guy that Devin Haney's been going back and forth with for X amount of years now. And really, that fight should have been happening. At this point, Devin Haney is likely going to be a welterweight. Tank Davis is a stretch, right? Tank Davis got Lamont Roach problems. He has to get past Lamont Roach so he can continue to possibly give us some of these fights that we've been asking from him for years now, right? Jaron Boots Ennis, number 4. Jaron Boots Ennis, number 4. So I'm not sure if he's serious. I'm not sure if Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be staying at 147 pounds to wait for Devin Haney to start scratching these names off his hit list, right? Jaron Boots Ennis and Devin Haney, in my opinion, not a good fight for the Haneys. It's just not a good fight. It's not a good fight at all. I think Devin Haney right now, he's been stagnant. I haven't seen any growth from Devin Haney as a fighter right now. Maybe it's because he needs to stick with a trainer and stick with that trainer instead of bouncing around from trainer to trainer. And then when he got a fight coming up, his dad is the head trainer in the corner, guiding him through these fights. Not to say Bill Haney can't guide his son through a fight, but I think at this particular point, he may need somebody that's a little bit more experienced in the field, right? A former fighter, a guy that's got the coaching chops to get his son through these fights and to prepare his son to give him the best chance to continue his career with no problems, right? Brian Norman Jr., number 5. Strange. Look, I'm not sure how that fight would go, right? Devin Haney in his last fight against Jose Ramirez, he didn't seem to want to engage too much in the fight, right? Even though Jose Ramirez was at the back of an ambulance after the fight, right? Devin Haney, that simply just wasn't his best performance. So when I look at a guy like Brian Norman Jr., who's punching, who got some skill, who got some talent, I don't think that's necessarily a good fight for Haney either. Similar to Jaron Boots Ennis. Number 6, Mario Barrios. As we know, he got a fight coming up with a 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao. 16-year age difference, or is it 17? Either way, 16-year age difference between the two. Manny Pacquiao hops right back into boxing, gets a WBC title shot. Mario Barrios is just on his collecting the bag tour. He's not really trying to unify. He's using his championship status to make the much money as possible. Manny Pacquiao, sitting on the sidelines, probably needs a little payday by now. Seeing that as a beatable champion at 147 right now, well, why not, right? But Mario Barrios is an option. I think Devin Haney could possibly beat Mario Barrios. Keyshawn Davis, number 7. Very, very interesting. Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney will be a great fight. But the thing is, though, when I'm thinking about this matchup, Devin Haney's going to have to be ultra prepared. I got to see something more from Devin Haney. I didn't get enough from his last fight. So when I look at a lot of these names leading up to Keyshawn, it's like, could he really beat these guys right now? Maybe Devin 2 years ago before the whole Ryan debacle and all that shit that happened. Possibly, right? But right now, I think Devin Haney, just based off his last fight, you only good as your last fight. Just based off his last fight, I think he has some type of issue to where he's not letting his hands go. We're going to see it in his next fight. I don't think Keyshawn Davis is a good fight for him right now. I just don't think a lot of these fights for Devin Haney is good fights. Keyshawn Davis, number 7. Number 8, Rolly Romero. Good fight. It's a fight that really should have been happened when both guys was at 135 pounds. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. PBC was doing their thing, and, Top Rank and Devin Haney and Bill was bouncing around from Matchroom, different promotional companies. They never really landed with PBC like that, so they never got an opportunity to face Rolando Romero. Rolando Romero's an underachiever in the sport. Despite him not being probably the least talented guy out of everybody on this list, he's still here. He's still a champion. He's still relevant. He's still out here doing his thing. So salute to Rolly Romero, right? From just overcoming the odds. He's a guy who had a late start in boxing, and he's still here. He beat Ryan Garcia, somebody that Devin Haney didn't beat. So, yeah, Rolly Romero, I think Devin Haney. And I got to go. It's hard for me to. Devin Haney if I'm going off the Devin Haney in a pro grade fight, he's a tough night for anybody, right? If he could show up like how he showed up against Regis Prograis, Devin Haney's a tough night for any of these guys on this list. Maybe outside of maybe Jerron Boots Ennis, right? Number 9, Conor Benn, who had an excellent fight, one of the best fights in boxing history, right? People regard that's one of the best fights they've seen, definitely this year, 2025. Conor Benn, I think people have since forgot about his testing positive and all that. After that great performance he put up against his rival, Chris Eubanks Jr. Conor Benn is a hot name right now, especially in the UK boxing market. He's a really hot name. He's a very exciting fighter. He has a fan-friendly style. He has the intensity, the same intensity as his father had. He's pretty much just like a newer, younger version of his father. Very intense, very action-packed fighter. He may not be the most skilled guy, but he brings it, and he's very fun to watch. Conor Benn, number 9. How will he match up against Devin Haney? I don't know if that's necessarily a good fight either. I don't know if Devin Haney's strong enough to deal with Conor Benn or some of these guys that's been at 147. I'm just not sure. And number 10, the number 10 guy is none other than crying Ryan Garcia. Yeah, that's right. Ryan Garcia is number 10 on Bill Haney's hit list for Devin Haney versus everybody. And Ryan Garcia is number 10. Now, Ryan Garcia took that loss to Rolando Romero.
He got his ass cooked.
Looked like shit in the fight. Didn't look nothing like he did against Haney. Not fit. His physique didn't look like he did at Haney. His intensity, none of that. He didn't have none of the stuff that he had in the fight against Haney. And it showed in this fight against Rolando Romero, his last fight, the fight that he lost. Got dropped in the second round. Didn't really improve as a fighter. And I think if Devin Haney got his hands on Ryan Garcia, again, it'll be a totally different outcome. But the fight that's most likely to happen next is possibly a Tif Lopez or maybe a Ryan Garcia. Everything else, I think people are tied up. Brian Norman got a fight with Jen Sasaki. Jerron Boots Ennis is kind of dealing with Tif Lopez. He may have to face a mandatory if he decides to stay at 47. Tank Davis got Lamont Roach issues. Shakur Stevens is going to be finally going against William Zepeda. Keyshawn Davis got a fight coming up with Evan De Los Santos. Barrios got a fight coming up with Manny Pacquiao. Conor Benn is kind of waiting on the sidelines for some smoke. And Ryan Garcia is licking his wounds. But yeah, man, tell me what you guys think. Bill Haney and Devin Haney got a hit list. It is Devin Haney versus everybody. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.